Thank you for your patience. I'm so grateful to be here. As he mentioned, I'm a hard guy to explain what I do. If I was to put myself in a box, it would be a disservice because I believe the greatest intersection of topic is entrepreneurship meets spirituality, which might sound a little out there, but I'm most known, some of you know me, I see some familiar faces, as being the co-owner of Arizona Entrepreneurs. We have a business-to-business networking group that we host a monthly event and a weekly pop-up for 5.5 years now. So we've hosted somewhere around 70 or 80 events total. I'm most known for helping businesses scale for enterprise value. So the EBITDA value of a company. If you want to raise capital, if you want to merge, if you want to be acquired, I'm excellent at understanding the traditional business systems required to create the MRRs and the EBITDA value to do that. That's what I'm most known for. My zone of genius and my passion is soul science, human behavior, right? Both for the sake of capitalism, but also because I love to study what we are. We're electrical beings, right? And I love to know what causes someone to pull the lever, push the button, stripe the credit card. Most importantly, so we can create transformation and decisions that lead to sustainable problem solving, which in my opinion is the greatest thing we can do on this planet. Right? I originally wanted to go into politics and I thought maybe I'd be a preacher. And I realized that the greatest evolution to come to our species has always happened through entrepreneurship. So my goal today is maybe activate just a little bit more of that responsibility in you, first and foremost. Who here would like to make a shit ton more money? Yeah, well, all you have to do is solve more problems at scale, right? You've probably heard the crunchy coach talk that's like, don't focus on making more sales, focus on helping people. And it sounds silly and a little crunchy and cheesy, but it is the truth. And one of my favorite examples of this, anyone ever seen the Avengers movies, classic Marvel movies? I've got 3 kids, so we've enjoyed, they kind of suck now, but the originals were awesome. One of the Avengers movies, Tony Stark, Iron Man, right, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, is recruiting Spider-Man into the Avengers. They've got a big boss to fight. And he's literally in Peter Parker's aunt's little apartment, and he's interviewing. He's like, what makes you get up out of that little twin bed over there and risk your life to go fight bad guys? And he said, the way I see it, and I'm paraphrasing, if somebody's hurting and they're suffering, and I'm capable of stopping that suffering, and I don't, I'm responsible for their suffering. So think about that. Who here provides solutions to solve problems in people's lives through your business or through your enterprise? Yeah, like everyone here. So you genuinely have a moral, social obligation to become extremely wealthy solving those problems. And if you aren't yet, I would love to help you do so. I only have 15 minutes. Anyone knows the old quote, if you want me to speak for an hour, give me the mic. If you want me to speak for 20 minutes, give me a week. If you want me to speak for anything less than that, you need to give me about a month because I'm very verbose. But I want to focus us down a little bit now because the 2 biggest problems you will face the next 2 years as an entrepreneur, I would love to make those extremely visible so you can be aware of it, protect yourself, and then 2, point you in the direction of solving that problem for yourself. So problem number 1, anyone here using AI? Yeah, like everybody, okay? Everybody's using AI. AI is not the future, it's definitely here. The first problem is AI. And that's a generalized statement, but back to being a soul scientist, did anybody read the study put out by MIT last June? MIT put out a ChatGPT brain scan study. Anyone see this? It's pretty damning, right? It's kind of scary. I'm not going to fearmonger, but 2 months use of ChatGPT, 2 months use before never using it before, reduces the cognitive part of the brain and our nervous system responsible for new creative thought, problem solving, processing emotions, empathy, memory, concentration. We're not talking about subtle. We're talking about atrophy electrically of parts of the brain that evolved through evolutionary biology for who knows. We've argued about how long we've been here forever, but what we know is it's very difficult to reverse. And so it's very important that how you interact with AI is conscious. And what I mean by that is what you don't use, you lose. And so if every single time you got a problem, you just screenshot in your texts and your emails and have an old Gemini, Claude, and ChatGPT solve problems for you, eventually you can no longer solve those problems for yourself. Anyone here heard of the Flynn effect? The Flynn effect. Basically, in America, from the 30s to the 80s, our IQ scores were raising at an increasing compound rate. And then in the 80s, it started declining at the exact same percentage. Since LLMs and ChatGPT and chat has come out, it's falling off a cliff. And it's because of our reliance and dependency on technology. So the reason I'm saying this is because you don't have a choice. We are in the adopt AI or die era of business. Right now, when you adopt AI, you're competing with other people using AI. 6 months to a year from now, if you're not adopting AI, you're competing with other AI, not people using it. And so you're not going to have a choice. You're going to have to learn how to use these things the same way. I'm 43, so I got to witness the rise of the internet and smartphones. And the same thing is happening now. You're either going to be in resistance to it or you're going to adopt it. And yeah, there's a price to pay. So I'm going to give you the secret sauce. It's been out for a long time. The 9 intelligences, multiple intelligences theory. The number one way to offset the cognitive decline in debt caused by AI is to make sure that you're getting out in nature. You're talking to other human beings. You're sitting down and having deep intellectual thought before you go to ChatGPT, right? All of these LLMs want you to show up with an anatomy of a chat. Make sure you sit down and do personal work on yourself before you go there. But my point is, study the 9 intelligences and develop habits in your life right now that activate voltage in other areas so that you're not only offsetting the damage caused by AI, you're filling yourself with more voltage and showing up superhuman. Okay, the other problems. Does everyone agree that it's a huge problem, AI? Okay. Here's the other problem with AI. You ready? I double dog, triple dog dare you guys to go study the statistics of SEO and, more importantly, AI engine optimization. Go to SEMrush. You could Google SEM SEMrush statistics on AI SEO. What you'll find is in the next few months, AI search will surpass Google, right? And what that means is when people are searching to solve problems right now, pretty soon there's more people going to chat and asking, tell me the top 5 people that can solve this problem in this area. Anyone do that? Well, when you go to Google now, it's like 70% of Google searches don't lead to a click. Why? AI overviews. So you're dead in the water. You're invisible if you cannot find out how to be discovered by AI search in the next 6 months. And it sounds like a cute marketing pitch, and it is. I can help you solve that problem. But my point is, you need to study how to get yourself to show up in AI search. Anyone here ever Googled something, you start reading an article, and then you look, and it's from 2014? That ever happened? Yeah. Well, this is a rare window of time and a rare opportunity. The institutionalized corporations, I work with a couple multi-billion dollar brands that invest literally hundreds of millions into SEO to stay at the top of search so they have traffic. Those companies are super late to realizing that none of that's working. So it's kind of been monopolized. So if you're a small or medium-sized business, you have an opportunity right now to create assets to rank for crawlers and the cache for AI search. So those are the 2 biggest problems. Research AI SEO, and figure it out. It's not very hard. So look, I could talk about a lot of different things up here. How much time do I have left? I have no concept of time. few minutes. I wanted to buzz through that because the truth is those are the two biggest problems we face over the next 2 years as entrepreneurs. One, you must adopt AI, and there is damage that comes with that. And if you understand it early, you can use it to become superhuman intelligent and deploy it in a way that you don't feel like anyone sat on ChatGPT and felt exhausted an hour later. Okay, well, you guys are either bored or you're lying because everyone's felt that way. On the other side of the equation is more voltage, more connection. I'm glad you brought up human connection. Russell Brunson, anyone know who Russell Brunson is? Super pinned this dude in a corner a couple months ago because I wanted to know where he was at with AI. You guys want me to tell you what he's focused on the most? Human connection and community, number one asset. He's like, my software is now worth zero. We've invested hundreds of millions of dollars that you can now be in a third world country and a teenager in vibe code in 15 minutes, right? But what they built was the asset of community and connection, and that's never going to be lost. So learn soft skills. Learn how to shake more hands, give hugs, look people in the real eyes, because we are moving into a world where there's more and more synthetic connection. Anyone can sound like a rocket scientist behind a keyboard on ChatGPT. And because of that, and all these files being released that are redacted, which we aren't going to talk about, but we live in a trust recession, right? We really truly live in the most skeptical time on planet Earth. And so the age of information is over. We live in the age of intuition, and the number one thing he shared is you got to get around people in person and build real community and connection so that you can beat that skepticism by being real. Second, does anyone here help other people make money? Does anyone here help people make money? I know it's a Friday night, but yeah, biz ops and ways that you can deploy services to help people develop skills so they can make money. That is the number two things you can do in the AI era to insulate yourself and protect yourself. So look, guys, I'll leave you with this. I loved the opening. That was a little bit more grounded and deep than most downtown Phoenix Friday night entrepreneur events, especially at a brewery. And I highly encourage you over this next couple years to drop in deeper. Remember what you are. Remember you're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. Stop watching the news. You are the light that inhabits you. It doesn't matter if you believe in spirit or soul. Protect that. And then go shine it on the world. In the meantime, infinite love, y'all. Shine the fuck on.